Hello and welcome to the Midday Update. These are the top headlines from our newsroom today. Oman sees increase in COVID-19 cases. Oman airport starts COVID-19 vaccination drive for staff. UN urges G7 to ensure COVID-19 vaccine access across low-income countries. India records the highest single-day COVID-19 fatalities. Omani referees selected for various sporting events this year. In addition to that, in today's show, we'll be joining by a very special guest who will be talking about the chances of Oman hosting the T20 Cricket World Cup this year. But before that, let's see how the weather looks like in the Sultanate today in our weather update.
This is Maytha Chukedi with today's weather update, and right now I'm reporting from outside the TFM studio in Al Khoir. Before we move on to our weather update, here is our fact for the day. The heaviest hailstone in history weighed 1 kilogram. That is our fact for the day. Now let's take a look at how the weather will be like in the Sultanate. According to Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation Authorities, there will be clear to partly cloudy skies along the coastal areas of Dhafar and adjoining mountains with isolated rain. There will be mainly clear skies in the rest of the Sultanate with chances of convective cloud development and possible rain. There will be occasional thunderstorms associated with strong winds and hail over Al-Hajar Mountains in the afternoon and possibly in the evening as well. And now let's take a look at how the weather will be like in all the governorates. Muscat will be sunny, temperatures between 39 to 30 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be sunny, temperatures between 39 to 28 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batana will be sunny, temperatures between 38 to 31 degrees Celsius. South Al-Batana will experience thunderstorms, temperatures between 44 to 31 degrees Celsius. Al-Buraymi will have a sandstorm, temperatures between 46 to 31 degrees Celsius. Al-Dhahira will have thunderstorm, temperatures between 47 to 33 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhiliya will also have thunderstorm, temperatures between 47 to 31 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiyya will have thunderstorm, temperatures between 45 to 30 degrees Celsius. South Al-Sharqiyya will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 43 to 31 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be sunny, temperatures between 47 to 32 degrees Celsius. And the Dhafar will have a thunderstorm, temperatures between 31 to 22 degrees Celsius.
To TTV, you're watching Midday Update. Now, before we get into the details of the local stories for the day, let's see how the COVID-19 situation looks like in Sultanate today. The Ministry of Health has announced the registration of 19 new death cases due to coronavirus in Oman today. This has taken the total deaths in the Sultanate to 2,467. The health officials have also extended their deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. In addition to that, the Ministry of Health has also announced the registration of 1,614 new coronavirus cases in Oman today. With this, the total number of total confirmed cases in Oman has touched to 230,217, which also includes total recoveries of 207,795. Moreover, in 24 hours, the Ministry of Health has also announced the registration of 951 recoveries. The Ministry of Health has urged all the citizens and residents in the Sultanate to follow precautionary measures issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health. And now from a local desk. For the first time in the Sultanate, the total number of COVID-19 inpatients at hospitals has exceeded 1,000, an official from the Ministry of Health said on June 9th. An official from the Ministry of Health confirmed to Times of Oman that for the first time in the Sultanate, the total number of COVID-19 inpatients reached 1,021, including 329 cases in intensive care. On June 9th, the Ministry of Health announced the registration of 1,931 new COVID-19 cases, which is 3.35 times higher than the 576 cases reported on May 11th. During this time frame, the number of new hospital admissions has also increased. On May 11th, 83 new patients were admitted to hospitals. This steadily increased to 128 admissions on June 9th. Dr. Faryal Al-Labati, a senior consultant in infectious diseases at the Royal Hospital, said she had witnessed an unprecedented increase in infection numbers during the current wave when compared to previous ones. In fact, while speaking to Shabiba FM, the radio station of Al Shabiba, the Arabic publication of the Times of Oman, she said, "The indicators of this wave are very worrisome, and this recent spike in numbers is because of gatherings that took place during Eid. Patients admitted to ICUs might have other contributing factors, but during this wave, the number of infections have increased because the virus has become more resilient. She further added that the recent lifting of economic restrictions might increase cases further. It is worth noting that between the 4th and 9th of June of this year, more than 100 patients have been admitted to hospitals daily with issues concerning coronavirus. The highest single-day admission number during the above time frame was on June 5th, when 140 patients were taken to hospital. Over the last 30 days, there has also been an increase in the number of patients admitted to intensive care units. There were 255 people in intensive care units on May 11th, compared to 329 on June 9th. Oman Airports has launched a vaccination campaign on June 9, 2021. In fact, a statement issued online by Oman Airports said that they have launched a vaccination campaign against COVID-19 virus for the staff of Oman Airports, ground handling and cargo, a major step towards achieving the best standards of health and safety. Now, amid the ongoing pandemic that has gripped the world, Oman has an opportunity to host some of the biggest sports events in the world this year, which also includes Musanna Race Week that is scheduled to be held in October 2021, besides recently being awarded the rights to host a 2024 Hockey Fives World Cup, which will see the 32 international teams coming to the Sultanate. And now the buzz is going, which is asking people, and people are actually looking forward to hosting T20 Cricket World Cup in the Sultanate. Now, to get more in detail about whether Oman will be hosting T20 Cricket World Cup matches in the Sultanate or not, we have none other than Mr. Pankaj Khimji, who's the chairman of Oman Cricket and chairman Development Committee for Asian Cricket Council, joining us today. So let's welcome Mr. Pankaj Khimji. Thank you so much, Mr. Pankaj, for joining us today.
Thank you, Madhya, for having me.
First of all, it's great to see you after almost 2 years, I believe, because the last time I saw you was in September 2019 when Anil Kumble and Mahela Jayawardene were visiting the Sultanate and when there was no COVID.
Yes, lots have changed. The world has probably turned topsy-turvy in the last 1.5 years, I should say.
Yes, absolutely.
And we're all in it together, and you know, it's very trying times.
Right. Now, Mr. Pankaj, before we get onto the topic for today, I would like to congratulate you on becoming the chairman of Oman Cricket. So how does it feel to actually take up on such a responsibility?
Well, first of all, there's such a fantastic foundation laid for Oman Cricket, and you know, the board, the management, the players. I would say the last decade has probably been the watershed down moment for Oman Cricket, from being a rank outsiders to being ranked amongst the top 15 countries in the world in T20 and ODI cricket. It's no mean task. Number two, to get an infrastructure like what we have today amongst the developing nations, amongst the associate nations, and probably one of the best infrastructure we can find anywhere in the world. In terms of what has been achieved, the platform is there. Now it's just a matter of we saying, okay, where next do we go? So yes, I feel very elated. I feel very privileged. I feel there's a huge responsibility going forward. But with the like of board members that I have currently, and the management that is in place, and the team that we are currently fielding in the World Cup, I have no anxiety, and I should only say that, you know, I don't know how to do better, but I shall try my best and I shall put my right foot forward.
Right. And now the question of the hour, Mr. Pankaj, is that will we be seeing Oman hosting the upcoming T20 Cricket World Cup? Well,
I very much hope so. We are, you know, very much in a state of preparedness. We know what is required from ICC to host this. We believe we can make it happen. There are a lot of stakeholders that need to come and play for this to happen properly. But I think there is Oman is best suited to host it. I also believe that it is a great moment and a great opportunity for Oman. So we will definitely kind of try and make the best pitch for it. However, at this moment in time, BCCI and ICC need to make the final call and say, yes, the venue will shift from India to Oman. The host will remain the same, and Oman and UAE together will be the new venues. But that is probably likely to happen towards the end of the month. Having said that, we are at this moment in time just running through all the to-do list, and how well do we stack up in terms of achieving the expectations of the ICC in case they do decide to move to Oman.
Right. Now, Mr. Pankaj, I wanted to ask you that if this happens, do you think that Oman is ready to host such a huge event in terms of venue, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of catering to the needs of the players who will be coming to the Sultanate? How ready do you think that Oman is to welcome such a huge event?
Well, I think mentally we are more than ready. Physically, yes, we have things to do. We have more than 3 months. We have nearly 4 months before we've little more than 4 months before the World Cup starts. But it'll be less than 4 months if you look at when the teams start arriving, the officials start coming in. So it's going to be a good task. It's not a Herculean task, but I think we are well suited. We are well capable. We have the capacity and the capability of doing it. If nobody else, if anybody has it, we have it.
I'm sure. Mr. Pankaj, I just want to go back a little in time and ask you when, Oman Cricket Association was formed. Did it ever occur to you that there would come a time that Oman will actually be hosting one of the biggest sporting events in the world?
Why even go back to as far as when Oman Cricket Association was formed, which is going back to the 1980s? But why even if I were to look at 10 years ago, would I have then said that I will be a venue for the World Cup? It would have been very difficult to foresee that. But in the last 5 years, and especially since we've had the pavilion and the green surfaces and the indoor facilities, we always thought that, Oman could be that one country that could host the qualifying rounds of a World Cup at some point in time, if not. And then when we got accreditation for the test venue to host an Ireland, Afghanistan, Zimbabwe series, we thought, I think we've come as far as we can go. We've got test accreditation, we've got ODI accreditation, and now we've got T20. And now T20 is beckoning, and the World Cup is on our doorsteps, and it's just a matter of that one toe or 1 foot coming in.
Last week, Mr. Pankaj, it was actually announced by Oman Cricket that the senior division team will actually have an early start this year, about 2 months earlier than what happened last year. Why is there an early start this time? Is it because you saw that the Cricket World Cup is going to happen in the Sultanate, or how did you predict this early start?
No, see, it's something that we need to work on, because one, we have 2 sets of triangulars happening in the month of September, and in both of them Oman is playing. So we need to get a head start, and our team is right now in a vacation mode, and they should be back in country before the end of the month. In fact, by the middle of this month, hopefully. And then they need about a month to get physically back in shape, and then before they can start putting in a lot of hours on the field. And we said that if we start our season, let's say sometime in August, which is not really a season in Oman, we can do some night cricket. We have got the floodlights, so we need to start getting into shape, because playing the World Cup is not something to be taken lightly. And the team realizes that, the management realizes that, the team officials realize that. So I think it's just we just have to work backwards and say, okay, we have to start early. We have to start early. There's nothing else. So I think it's just about the fitness. It's about the mental preparedness. So once we get into the groove, we'll be that much more prepared for the September triangulars, and then of course the World Cup in October.
And if I'm not wrong, Mr. Pankaj, due to the ongoing pandemic, the players or the team players haven't been able to keep up to their fitness level or have been able to perform or practice as much as they used to do before. So do you think with this early start, this will give a little bit more time for them to get into shape? Like you said, it's about mental health, it's about
Correct.
fitness.
Correct.
And
So
do you
we
think
will
it actually has lifted their spirits too?
So, they're itching to get back. More than half the team are on holidays in their home countries, and they are itching to get back. They are itching to start the very difficult and strenuous physical fitness regime that will go through in the month of June half and the latter half of June and July. And then they will get into their bowling, batting, fielding, whatever zones all of July and part of August. And I think this is their time. They are very excited. They can't wait to get back into the cricketing mode. COVID restrictions have curtailed their preparedness or their physical well-being, but most of them have either not had it and have been inoculated, or most of them have had it and are carrying the antibodies to kind of take on any more stresses. But I think we will also need to be vaccinated, most of the team and most of the players and the support staff,
right?
Because I think this might just be the new norm as far as the way forward is concerned, whether World Cup or whether ICC COVID regulations, etc. We'll have to inoculate every one of them.
Right. Lastly, I really wanted to ask about the protocol and the procedures that you think that will be followed during, if the World Cup happens in the Sultanate, or even when the senior division is back on the ground. What kind of protocols and procedures you're looking forward to? Because I remember talking to one of the team players last year, and they said that, the ballers usually have the habit of using their spit on the ball, and that really gets them into trouble.
That's history now. I think no, I don't see the spit being used in the ball either post-COVID or way past post-COVID. I think that's gone. I mean, that's going to be the new norm. Plus, I mean, from a playing conditions point of view, those are the things. There won't be many ball boys picking up the ball and giving it back to the players. The players will have to go fetch it. There will be a lot more balls in play, because if you lose the ball outside the ground, then they won't have to go and fetch it, because they may have to sanitize it and all sorts of things. So those are the playing regulations. But I think on the whole cricket facility will have to be in a bubble. The accommodation spaces will have to be in a bubble. The transport will have to be, the link which will have to be in a bubble. So I think we are going to be facing and realizing a new norm of what event management is all about. And I think in the next few weeks, we will know exactly how stringent they are or how liberal they will be. But I'm also hoping that by October, a vast majority of our population would have got their vaccinations in place. And
right.
I think the COVID situation or the COVID infection rate in this country would be much more under manageable levels than what they are right now. So I think by and large, we should be in a better space of mind and physical form by October than what we are today.
Right. Mr. Pankaj, we have a question coming from a viewer, a woman. Yep. I believe she's probably a part of the Cricket Association, or she is one of the fans, and she's asking, with all that taking place, what about the resumption of women's cricket team? And what about the junior league? When are they going to be announced? So
as far as currently is concerned, we've now all restrictions have been lifted as far as playing community team sports, as long as it's outside in the open. So in fact, last weekend we even had the first batch of our young schoolboys going back into training. So they were all back in form, and they were enjoying their time on the ground. So cricket is back in the grounds. Women's cricket will start when the season starts. At the moment, as you know, we don't play cricket in June and July. So hopefully women's cricket will be back in action in August, if not earlier. I mean, there's nothing stopping you girls from coming and playing on the ground and linking up with your coach and manager to kind of say that, can we have some evening sessions? More than happy. Girls, come on.
Another question, Mr. Pankaj, if you don't mind me asking, because it
Yep.
seems really interesting.
Yep.
One of the viewers asking, like, what made you bring cricket to the Sultanate? Why cricket?
I'd rephrase that question. I'd say, why not cricket? And I said, cricket is something which is so popular in the Asian subcontinent, and having a population of close to nearly 1.5 million Asians living in Oman, it's only fair that we give them their share of what they like, and that cricket is one of that sport which is liked by most Asian subcontinent people. So one is that. Number two, why bring cricket to Oman? And the saying that, if Oman has played so well in the last few years, then Oman deserves to have a shy at the World Cup, and hosting or venuing, giving it Oman being a venue for Muscat being the venue for the World Cup. And I think Oman deserves it more than anyone else in the region, because can you imagine that we are the only associate country in Asia to have qualified for this World Cup? So we're very proud of that, and I think if anyone deserves it more, it's Oman.
Talking about such achievements, Mr. Pankaj, how do you feel when you see, cricket being such a new sport? Of course, not now. Cricket is it has gotten its roots in Oman. But, getting so many milestones, achieving so much with Oman being such a small country and making, headlines across the globe in terms of cricket. How do you feel when you see the team, going and getting these milestones in hand?
No, there's definitely, we've got, what shall I say? I mean, we're very proud, we are extremely satisfied, we're extremely thrilled, and that everything has fallen in place. I mean, whether I say, the board's policies and its vision to put Oman on the map of global cricket, that's come true. The management under Duleep and the coaching staff, I mean, their tactics, their strategies, their physical and endurance that they've and physical training that they've put in place has come good. The team who've put in so much effort, so much hardship, so much training, all that hard work has fallen in place. So I think it's a combination of vision, strategy, hard work. When all this comes together, you realize that whether it's management or whether it's sport or whether it's any play, when you get all your bases loaded with the right kind of ingredients, you can't fail. And God has been kind. His Majesty Qaboos, Allah Rahmo, has been extra benevolent to us. And of course, what shall I say about His Majesty? He's been our patron in chief. He's been ever so kind, grateful, considerate in whatever we've done. And he's really helped us, counseled us, led us to where we are today. So, it's been a fantastic team effort from government, corporates, and let me not forget the corporates, because cricket in Oman is patronized by the corporates. And these corporates who've patronized the sport and have fielded teams even during these adverse conditions, my hat's off to them, and I'm ever so grateful to them. So yes, it's a combination of efforts, it's a combination, and it's just testimony to the fact that when you work together, you can't fail.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr.
In fact,
Pankaj.
you will succeed.
I'm sure. And thank you so much, Mr. Pankaj, for joining us today and giving us a little insight of the chances of Oman hosting the ever so, we all are looking forward to Oman hosting the T20 World Cup matches, and we all are rooting for Oman to actually be hosting it. I hope it happens, because this will actually, bring some kind of normalcy in during the ongoing pandemic, when everyone is really, depressed, and the certain situation and the conditions have refrained people from traveling or enjoying certain kind of sports that they usually would join this year.
Madhya, let me just add also one thing. The economic fallout, both direct and indirect, from hosting an event of this sort is huge. And nobody realizes that it's not just that we're bringing cricket to Oman. We're bringing in economic benefit to Oman and putting Oman on a global map of 3.5 billion viewership is what they're expecting this World Cup to have on television. And imagine, from Oman being projected as a global arena to host the World Cup is tremendous. Not just will we get 3,000 to 4,000 room nights being sold over here, the transport sector, the volunteers that will get to learn about hosting such events, the financial benefits that they will get in hosting such events. The fallout of it is all positive. And I just hope that and pray and keep us in your Friday prayers that Oman does succeed in getting this thing, because it's an all-round win-win situation for Oman.
Absolutely, inshallah, Mr. Pankaj. We all are rooting for Oman to be hosting the World Cup matches.
Thank you.
Inshallah, this year. Thank you once again for being an amazing guest on the show today.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best. Much.
Bye.
Bye. With that, it's time for us to take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from our international desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. It's time to look into the stories for the international. 8 United Nations officials have called on the Group of 7, commonly known as G7, leading economies to ensure peoples across the developing world get full and equal access to coronavirus vaccines, the UN Office of the High Commissioner on Refugees, commonly known as OHCR, said on Wednesday. According to the United Nations officials, everyone has a right to have access to a vaccine for COVID-19 that is safe, effective, timely, and based on the application of the best scientific development. This was said by the United Nations officials ahead of the G7 summit of leaders to be held in the United Kingdom on June 11 to 13. The officials warned that billions of people in the global south were being left behind and that they only saw vaccines as a mirage or a privilege for the developed world, a situation that would prolong the crisis and increase its death toll. India has recorded the highest single-day COVID-19 fatalities with 6,148 new deaths in the last 24 hours as Bihar revised its COVID fatality numbers over the past month after an audit. Bihar reported 3,971 COVID deaths in the last 24 hours after the audit. Meanwhile, India's daily spike of coronavirus cases remained below the 100,000 mark for the third consecutive day, as only 94,052 new infections were recorded during a 24-hour period, according to the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare on Thursday. The weekly positivity rate is currently 5.43%, while the daily positivity rate stands at 4.69% today. It has remained less than 10% for 17 consecutive days now, the Health Ministry said. India's daily recoveries continue to outnumber the daily new cases for the 28th consecutive day, as the country reported 151,367 recoveries in the last 24 hours. The national recovery rate has grown further to touch 94.77%. The cumulative case load stands at 29,183,121, including 27,655,493 recoveries and 1,167,952 active cases and 359,676 deaths. Once again, it's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned for more updates from a sports desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket, now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from our sports desk. 3 Omani referees have recently been selected to participate in sporting events this year. 2 Omanis will participate in the 23rd Asian Club League Handball Championship, while 1 was selected for the 2021 Asian Basketball Cup Finals. A statement issued online by Oman News Agency said 2 Omani referees, Khamis Al-Wahabi and Omar Al-Shehi, will participate in the continental referee team in managing the matches of the 23rd Asian Club League Handball Championship for the public, which will be hosted in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia from June 12 to 21st. On the other hand, the International Basketball Federation Asia, represented by the Referees Committee, selects the international referee Ahmed bin Abdullah Al-Balushi to manage the matches of the 5th and 6th groups for the qualifiers that will be held in Jordan in mid-June and qualifiers for the 2021 Asian Basketball Cup Finals, Oman News Agency added. With this news, we have come to the end of the episode for today, but stay tuned as we'll be back again next week with latest updates and more news your way. Keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.